$418 million in damages to settle class action antitrust lawsuits over broker commissions. That money will go first to pay the plaintiff's lawyer fees and then will go to the class. The settlement, though, makes clear that NAR is denying any wrongdoing. Now, the lawsuits argued that NAR, with its more than 1 million brokerage members, violated antitrust laws by setting certain requirements that led to a standard commission. The settlement...
YouTube, Facebook, social media, Instagram, TikTok. Mr. Hubbard again, the home inspector. Like I said before, in my previous video, I got a lot of stuff to talk about. But before I get started, like I said, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and again, I got stuff to talk about. But this one here, oh yeah, I didn't see this. I didn't see this coming. And so I listened to a lot of YouTube, a lot of people, internet, looked at all this stuff about this NAR, this National Association of Realtors, this lawsuit settlement, and it's the talk of the town amongst real estate agents. And it made me come to the point where, this here is coming from the inspector's thing, the inspector on this NAR settlement. Again, I see a lot of stuff out there, but what's very interesting, here's what's interesting about this lawsuit. And so, again, 17 years, I talked to a lot of real estate agents. I do know a lot of real estate agents out there, because like I said, they use my service in, being a home inspector. So I reached out to them and just asked that question. I said, well, hey, have you been following this lawsuit? And some say yeah, some say no, they ain't too concerned about it and all that. And so I said, well, do you think it's going to affect me as a home inspector? And everybody, no, it's not going to affect the home inspectors because, y'all good. I said, well, I have to push back on that. I have to push back on that one because here's my take on it. Anybody that's involved in any real estate transaction, i.e. real estate agent on the listing side, the buyer side, the appraisal, the home inspector, termite inspector, loan officers, banks. Oh, and by the way, the VA, Veterans Affairs. Like I said in one of my previous videos, retired military, prior service. But I did use my VA loan or my certificate to purchase a house. So, and I go back to the question that I posed to a lot of the real estate agents, do you think this is going to affect my business? And then they say no, but I have to say a lot of my agents and friends that I dealt with on the real estate side were from the buyer side. So from my understanding of this lawsuit is that they're saying, okay, the commission's going away, not going away, but now you're negotiating, meaning, hey, so we talking negotiating, we're talking money, and you talking about somebody that's experienced in talking about negotiating, again, home inspector, why? Get a buyer to say, hey, my agent, I'm interested in getting a home inspection, how much you charge? I said, well, I charge $400. Oh yeah, I think that's too much. I'm gonna call around. Okay, cool. Find somebody. Hey, okay, you're an inspector. Now it's gonna be like, okay, I charge $400. Well, what about military discount? Oh, okay, we give military discount. Okay, and well, what about this? And so now we're negotiating about my services. Now think about the real estate agent. Now the real estate agent gonna have to start negotiating their commission now from what they're talking about this no longer will be in the MLS, about commission fees on the listing side and all that, and the listing agent goes talk to the seller to get the listing. They tell them, hey, I charge 6% commission now. I split half of it with the buyer's agent because we're gonna bring a buyer, and now that seller is gonna start negotiating. Hey, well, I don't want to pay for the buyer's agent. Let them pay for their own. So you see how this is going to become an issue. And then not to mention on the buyer side. Buyer side say, let's hypothetically say, hey, if I meet a buyer, I'm a real estate agent, and I tell her, hey, I charge, my commission is $3,000, flat fee. Okay? $3,000? Okay, cool. Oh, by the way, buyer, you're gonna have to pay for the home inspection. Is that gonna come out of your commission? No, you have to pay for that separately. So I gotta pay $3,000 for your commission, and I gotta pay $300, or let's just say $400 for the home inspector. You know, by the way, you may, depending on some requirements along, they may tell you may have to pay for the termite inspection. You may have to pay the price. It all depends, you know. But again, the point of the matter is, as a buyer, if I'm trying to buy this $275,000 house, I also got to pay your commission. I also got to pay for the home inspector. How much? You say 3,000? What about 2,500? Now we've started to negotiate. And see, that's the thing about this lawsuit. My take on it is this. When I heard about it and started looking into it, and I called, and all of the main consensus has always been, we're not going to do nothing yet until July gets here, because we still don't know what's going to happen. Let's look at this. July is going to come. We know something's going to happen. What it is, we don't know. But I'm a firm believer is, let's start preparing and start approaching this from every angle that we can think of from this lawsuit. And when July 1st gets here, we're gonna have something in place to start working around versus waiting till like July 1st, then we're gonna work. What I see in this whole NAR settlement is that, just like with anything new, they're gonna have to work the kinks out of it. They're gonna have to get all the, I like to say, the trial and error period out of it, because I can see the real estate market gonna do this during July, going downward. Because why? Once you start talking about commission and having people negotiate how much you're gonna charge somebody, I can see this gonna go a while before we can come to agreement. And so that, again, I think it's gonna affect me, because why? Now the buyer gonna have to figure out a way to implement the home inspection into her presentation. And same thing on the listing side. They're gonna have to figure out how they're gonna implement finding a buyer. But what I do see in this day and age, with money's tight and people wanna own a house, is that buyers, after going through 2 or 3 real estate agents to find an agent to represent them, and they can't come to an agreement on commission, I can see where that buyer is going to go to that house that they like and interested in buying, and call that agent name that's on the sign that's in the yard and say, hey, I'm interested. And now that's going to put that listing agent in a dual capacity. That's, again, dual, and we'll see if that happens or not. But again, I can see them trying to represent a buyer and seller. Like some broker's office may have, you know, again, a listing agent in that office, and may have a buyer representation in that office. But again, still, I can still see where there's going to be a conflict in this. So anyway, I do see this NAR settlement is going to affect the whole personnel and transaction in this real estate thing. So, like I said, this is Mr. Hubbard. Oh, hold on. Let me back up real quick. Let me throw this out there. When we're talking about the MLS, in which that's where they say all of the commission has got to be no longer in there, and that commission, and when you go look on it, as a home inspector, I had to have what they call a super key. The only way you get that super key was you had to become a part of a association board as an affiliate to get access to that super key, so that when that agent scheduled that inspection, they say, hey, Anthony, you got a super? Yes, I do. I want to schedule inspection. So now I'm a member of the association. And again, I think yearly for an association, depending on some associations charge $200, $300. And they throw all these crazy fees in there just to be an affiliate, in which, again, we're home inspectors. We're not real estate agents. So I say that because the last thing I researched on this NAR settlement is that the reason why it hasn't officially kind of got settled is because now DOJ wants to get back involved. They want their, last thing I heard is DOJ, Department of Justice, wants to reopen that settlement agreement. That's not good. That's not good. DOJ wants to reopen a settlement that they said, okay, everything is fine and dandy. Boy, I tell you, I don't like that. I do not like that when the DOJ decides they want to reopen a settlement now where two parties agree that this is what we're going to go to, and the only thing everyone was waiting on for a judge to hack off on it. But before they get there, the DOJ say, hey, we want to go back into this. Y'all, oh yeah, nah, something's going on. So anyway, that's my take on it. Okay, that's my take on it. YouTube, I don't like that. But anyway, Mr. Hubbard again. Like I said before in my previous video, I got 17 years doing home inspection. I got a lot of stuff to talk about. This one here is a curveball. And don't forget, like this video, leave your comment. Hey, look, I love to see comments. I mean, I'm for the comments. Leave a comment. Subscribe to my channel because, like I said, 17 years doing home inspections, I got a lot of stuff to talk about. See you on the next video. Thanks for watching.